Hi, it's Valeska. I'm here at the Mansfield Training Center with Arlington Mansfield Area YMCA. And I have a half-hour Qigong Balance practice to do with you. Qigong is an ancient practice that Qi meaning life energy or life force, and Gong meaning work or effort. And so it's a practice that works on manipulating your life energy, your Qi, if you've heard of that term before, to the purpose of wellness or well-being for us. It is a mindful practice. It is one that uses a lot of balance and posture. Movements are relatively slow, which makes it very nice for really focusing on what you're doing and developing that slowness, the muscle balance that goes with it, into having this graceful practice. If you keep yourself with the perfect posture in mind, the crown of the head lifting up, feet rooted down, that tailbone slightly tucked under, rolling the shoulders back so that your ears are over your shoulders over your hips, and hips over knees, knees over ankles. That'll give you a good starting point. Feet, you can be wearing shoes if you like, or go barefoot. You just want to have a little bit of space around you where you can move and not bump into anything. Comfy clothes are just fine. Let's start with just that tall, balanced portion of our practice, that beginning. Think about lifting all the way through the crown of the head. Take a nice breath in and roll the shoulders back. Exhale. Feel the feet rooted to the floor. Now we're going to keep this long balance of the spine upwards. Let's start with a little bit of neck exercise. So just exhale and drift your chin towards your chest. And then just roll the ear to one side. So ear towards shoulder, slide the shoulders down. Roll the shoulder to head to center. And inhale the ear to the other side. And roll it back. And inhale to level. Let's take the shoulders up, back, down, and forward. Big circles, or small if you need. Just getting the body a little warmed up here. Try to avoid all elbows. See if you can keep the work in the shoulders and not the arms. And then reverse so they come forward, down, back, and up. And release. Let's see if we can push the hips to one side, to the back, to the other side, and forward. Make a bit of a circle. And then think about the crown of the head still going upwards so that it's really the hips that are moving and not the whole torso. Okay, this can be slower, it can be done at whatever pace feels good to you. And after this circle, let's pause and go the other way. Side, back, side, forward. Another couple times. And then find that balanced, tall posture. Pretend that the body is a board. And so we're not going to bend the knees or shift the hips. We're going to just reach ourselves, balance, shifting to the side now. So you might feel the outer edge of one foot and the inner edge of the other. Shift it to the front, so maybe your heels lift just a little, to the other side and back. So you're like a tree that's kind of circling from its roots, and that'll give you some good work into your feet and into your ankles and the lower part of your leg. It's good balance exercise too. The whole body is nice and straight. Just feel yourself shift with the feet. Now go the other direction. So we're just rotating from the feet and ankles. 1 or 2 more times. And release. Shake it out. From here, let's take the fingers and just interlock them like this and do a little bit of tap. So this kind of stimulates the energy points in your body, getting the energy flowing. And this is a light tapping, there's nothing hard. Go to the webbing between the thumb and the forefinger. And then lightly tap the inner wrists. turn it over for the outer wrist. And then just run your hand up one arm and down. And hand goes up the other side. And back down. And take the hands to the hips. Just go ahead and tap on the outside of the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need. Push your hips back if you need to go further down. And one more time. And this time, put your feet about hip width apart. We'll just do a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to twist from the hips and the upper arms just float with me. So I'm not pushing my arms, I'm just going around the ball. And you're going to try to maybe bend the knees a little bit as you do your twist. Crown of the head is still up. This is sometimes called a Tai Chi twist. So Tai Chi is related to our Qigong. Qigong kind of being the parent of Tai Chi. Qigong uses a lot of lovely forms that are repeated very mindfully. And Tai Chi will take a lot of those poses but link them together in longer forms. So you might have like 108 of those poses all together to form one Tai Chi program. We're not going into 108 forms. So we'll just work on some elements to Qigong. And come back, third center. We've done an 18-form Qigong. We'll take the first 9 of that series and then use it, break it down a little bit, and apply some movement or other movement toward it. So if you want to start again in this lovely tall posture, we'll begin with lifting the arms to about shoulder height, and then think about exhaling to send all your energy down. Breathing out. Inhale, everything lifts up. Exhale, let it come down. I'll turn to the side so you can see. Trying to keep that lovely posture. Hands are really higher than the shoulders, they don't need to. As I lift my wrists, my arms just float up with me. As I sink, they float down. Shoulders are relaxed. You can link your breath with the motion if that feels good to you. And let's do one more. I'll turn forward again so you can see. Now we're going to come back up, and this time open and broaden. Then we exhale, close, and descend. So think about energy. You're lifting up, you're opening wide, you're closing, and you're descending. It's a series of opposites, a yin-yang, and it helps distribute the energy in the body. And part of this philosophy is that we can work the energy in the body for greater health and well-being, that we might even be able to increase that amount of energy, help us with wellness of mind and body. Let's do one more of these. Last one. Now this time we rise, we take the arms all the way up and press the hips to one side and just sink toward the other. So it's lift and sink. Hips shift to center and then to the side. You can again do this at your own pace. But the movement pushes our weight in one direction, we reach in the other. You might play with the breathing. Maybe breathe in as you come up and exhale as you fold. And your gaze can follow if you like, or if it feels better just to look forward, that's all right. Let's do one more each side. And coming back up, allow the arms to float down, maybe knees can gently bend. Let's part the clouds. So we lift up, and as high as you can reach, comfortably just spread the clouds, and then you're going to descend back toward the earth. Lots of nature themes in Qigong. Lifting up, parting the clouds, sinking back down to earth. So you maybe gain some energy, maybe spread it wide, and sink back down. How much you bend the knees, up to you. The more you bend the knees, the more you sink back, the more work, the more effort. Let's do one more. And let the hands just float in front of you. This is going to have a little bit of a twist. This is a rolling of the arms. So I'm going to pull one hip back, and the hip that I'm pulling back, the arm is going to just drop down beside me, reaching behind, comes up about shoulder height, and then presses forward. And as I'm pressing forward, really my hip is drawing me forward. Everything leads from here. So my right side would drop, my gaze follows the hand, and then my hip pulls everything back forward. Breathing in, and breathing out. Inhale, and exhale. I had a teacher explain this to me as if you were in a boat, and maybe a canoe, and you just drifted your hand into the water and it gets pulled along. You lift it out and bring it back forward. Nice image. Trying to keep our muscles relaxed. If you can keep your knees bent, you develop a lot more strength in the legs, hands, feet. Let's do one more each side. Now we go toward row the goat. So you're rowing, bringing the arms down. Just shift the weight back like you would if you're reaching for a chair. Inhale, gather wide, and exhale, bring it back down. So I'll turn to the side for another view here. This opening is as wide as you're comfortable going. Exhale again, bend the knees as much as you're willing to go. Lifting up, still trying to keep the torso long and tall if you can, rather than bending over. You can think about the energetic sphere. Maybe that circling of energy. Rise and fall, gather and sit down. Let's do one more. I'll turn so you can see this one. And then just bring the hands to center. Imagine you've got a ball in the hand, and you could have the ball that would represent your energy or your chi, and you might even give it a color, a size, a texture, a sound. Think about taking this ball in one hand, if you start with your right, and you're just going to turn to the left and somewhat extend your hand forward. So you're not really reaching to the side, it's simply reaching forward from your shoulder or heart. Come back to center. Have that hand now, this energy, turn to the left and reach a bit forward. So we don't want to reach so far forward that we feel like we are out of our balance. We're going to keep the posture tall and bring the hand back to center. As I shift, I have the option of taking all my weight, pretty much 90% maybe, onto the leg. Bring it back to center. I'm now 50-50. Shifting my weight to the left, bending the right knee as I extend, and coming back to center. So, if you can, think about shifting that weight. And only extending. Certainly you don't want to go past the knee. Think about that energy just reaching from one side to the other. From the center of you, not reaching beyond with the arm specifically. Arm moves because my hips have turned, my torso has rotated. Let's do one more each side. And come back to center. Now, sometimes it's helpful to think about a nice plexiglass wall right in front of you. Take our center off to the side, so I've rotated kind of like we did with that other pose. And I'm now pressing again to that wall. I've moved myself off of that line. Coming back to the center, I'm 50-50. Shift more of my weight to the left. Take my left hand and press to the right. Notice that the left leg is light. Back to center. Shift the weight to the right and press toward the left. Back to center. Shift the weight to the left and press the left hand toward the right. It's one of those things you sometimes have to practice a little bit because it feels like you're going sometimes crosswise. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and exhale. One more time each side. And back to center. Next move is wave hands like clouds, which makes you think about moving your hands all over the place. We don't actually want to move the hands so much as we're going to move the torso, and the hands are going to come with us. This is where you might envision having a broom in front of you, or a little baby. Hold on to the seat and the head, and you're going to hold that thing, either the baby or the broom, right in front of you. Relax the elbows and the shoulders, maybe slightly bend the knees. Again, that beautiful posture. As I go off to the side, I'm going to be turning with the hips. It keeps my hands in the same place. Once I'm ready to go to the other side, we switch. You notice that the upper arm is going to be on the elbow. As I turn, hands are still staying right on the center of my chest. I rotate the hands and go back to the other side. So it can be a smooth transition, where you shift your weight a bit more side to side. Elbows pointing down. Gaze is on the hands. Think about shifting your weight now to the left. Shift your weight to the right. The hips are going to rotate so that I'm turning my heart in one direction, and then I'm going to turn it to the angle in the other. Your arms can be very large here. Make a big hold. Large broom or baby. Or you can do it much smaller. This can be a very meditative practice to be done whenever you feel like it. It can be done individually. You don't have to do the whole Qigong form. Now let's think about using this, not just shifting the weight, but maybe adding some motion side to side. Let's start with your left hand on top. As you rotate, you've shifted your weight to one side. Now I'm going to step out on the right. As I rotate, heart moves, I've stepped a little bit out, and then I'm going to draw in with the other foot. So I'm going to slowly be moving to the side. Maybe I'll breathe out as I step. Breathe in as I match with the other foot. Exhale. As I go to the right, right arm on top. Step in, left arm on top. One more time. Exhale. And step in. Now we've got your left on top. And step out just a little bit. Still do that turn. Now I'm rotating. Stepped in with the right. Stepping out with the left. Step in with the right. Now the feet are only adding to this practice that we started with moving the arms only because the torso is moved. And the torso is only moving because my hips are rotating. Much easier to do if you have bent knees. Very slow and gentle. Let's do one more here. And as you step in, just to get back to the center, we'll step out to the right. Stepping in with the left. And release. Nice. Roll the shoulders. And the other way. So we moved side to side. In a Qigong practice, you could add another 9 poses, but we'll leave that off so we could do a few other things in the next 10 minutes or so. To walk forward can be a very mindful activity, and I know all of you have had plenty of experience with walking. We're going to make this a little bit harder just by making it very slow and very mindful. So starting in your balanced posture, perfect posture pose, slight bend to the knees, a little bit of tuck under the tailbone, belly kind of firm here, helping to lift, shoulders back, the crown of the head up. Now what we're going to do is simply take a foot, and I'll move back a little bit so I have some more room. And we're just going to pick up a foot and step it forward. Now you can think about tapping it in slightly and then reaching out. It's almost like a little bit of a half circle move with your foot. And before we take a foot off the floor, we've always worked on our balance first. So to move the left leg forward, shift your weight to the right, lighten this foot. You could just tap it in, or just sort of just arch it out so that it just slightly moves out at an angle from your hip. Heel is now on the floor, toe is up. I will roll onto this foot slowly until I'm 50-50. I feel perfectly balanced. Posture is still beautiful. Now, if I want to continue going forward, I'm going to shift more of my weight into this front leg, peel the heel off, and then the toe, and come in to match the foot that's just moved forward. Now I'm going to reach out with that heel, just right in front of the hip. Heel first, roll onto the ball of the foot and the toe. I haven't taken a really huge step. I'm still in normal range, 50-50. Now to move forward, I'm going to shift more weight to that front leg, back heel, peel off, until it comes to the ball of the foot, the toe, tap in, reach out, heel down, roll onto that foot. We'll do one more. From 50-50, shift your weight into that front leg, feel your back heel peel off, tap in, and reach out. So we'll do this one more time, and I'll show you from the side in case that helps. From being in your normal posture, shift your weight to one side, lighten the other that you're going to step with. Reach out, heel, roll onto the ball of the foot, toe, 50-50, nice and even, tall posture. Now shift more for the back heel peel off. You can either tap in right here or continue just to reach out with the heel. Roll onto the foot, feel that balance, peel off the back. Either tap in or reach out, heel to toe. Peel off heel to toe, tap in, reach out, and roll, heel to toe. This looks really, really simple. But when you break it down and you do it slowly, it becomes a lot more of a, not exactly a challenge, but it does bring your balance a bit more into effect. And the strength of your feet and ankles and legs. There's a way to go backwards. So let me step out. Backwards is sometimes a little scarier because you don't always see what's behind you. So a careful stepping back is a way of preserving your balance so that you can always take your foot back forward if you need to without losing your balance or falling down. So if you were wanting to go backwards, essentially the same process. Shift your weight to one leg so that you lighten the other, and then reach back with the toe. Feel where the ground is first. I still have all my weight on that front leg. Once I know there's ground there, I'm I'm not reaching really far back, right? Just within a step. I'm going to shift my weight slowly from toe, the ball of the foot, the heel, and then I'm going to lighten up on the front foot. I can either tap it in or slowly reach back, find the ground, and roll onto that foot and the heel, gradually taking more of my weight onto that back foot when I'm certain about my footing and my balance. This is here just for balance until I'm ready to take that foot off, and you can kind of slowly drag the foot too if that helps. Reach back, take the toe down, follow the foot and heel. Shifting more, draw this foot back, a little bit almost of a crescent shape. Keep toe reaches out, find the floor, slowly roll back. And one more time. Front foot is light. Gradually find the footing, toe down, follow the foot, and heel. Now to go forward, heel, roll onto the toe. Either tap in or do that little bit of a crescent, reach out with the heel, roll onto the foot, then heel off the back, tap, heel, roll onto the foot, nice and steady, good posture, heel the back foot on, weight now is in that full front leg, heel, roll it to the floor, heel off the back foot, heel, roll to the front. Now 50-50, shift the weight back. Gonna take that foot, reach back with the toe first, find the floor, roll onto the foot, shift my weight, bend that knee, it's light. Gonna take it back, land the floor, roll onto it. Front leg is now light, toe reaches back. Roll onto the foot, one more time. Front leg is light, reach back, toe, roll onto the foot. So there are lots of things that can be always added to that method of walk, but it is very good practice if you happen to take a walk during the day. Maybe just take a block and add a little bit of that mindful walk, that practice to see how slowly you can take this walk and how steady you can do it. Keeping that beautiful posture, almost like you're just flowing like water right over the sidewalk. Being very mindful of any changes in the ground. Keeping your balance. Steps are small. And then of course if you're feeling very brave and you don't mind, and if you're outside and you want to try a little bit of your wave hands like clouds, you can add that side motion. So people practice this in other countries outside very frequently. It is a lovely practice, very mindful, very good for calming anxiety, good for the brain, good for the body. That's your mission. Let's close with a little bit of stretch. Just take one foot forward, press your back heel down, get a nice little bit of stretch to the back of the heel. Turn sideways so you can see. Then from here, just bend your back knee toward the floor. Gets a little bit more of the front of the hip stretch. And then lift up, lift your toe, press this hip back, keep the heel there. Just reach your chest forward. Ooh, nice pop. Coming forward, let's take that foot back. Other foot forward, press the heel down. And then bend your back knee toward the floor. So you're aiming for your quadriceps, the top of your thigh. Shift your weight back, dig the heel in, pull your hip back, reach your chest forward. Now, hamstring. And lift up and step out. Let's take one long rise of breath. Feel like you're gathering energy. Take some wellness to heart, mind, and body. Enjoy your day. Hope you can practice some Qigong. Stay well, and thank you.